Welcome to Washington. I'm Brett Baer. Breaking tonight, we're just getting a ruling in from a judge. The former White House counsel, Don McGahn, must comply with a House subpoena according to court rules. A ruling just in from a judge. This is a lawsuit that was filed by the House Judiciary Committee. Now this court is compelling the former White House counsel, Don McGahn, to testify in the House. This as the impeachment process goes from the House Intelligence Committee to the House Judiciary Committee when lawmakers come back, as the House Judiciary Committee will then be compelled to essentially write articles of impeachment. Chief White House correspondent John Roberts has been following this federal judge with this ruling compelling the former White House counsel to testify. John joins us live in the North Lawn. Good evening, John.
Good evening to you, Brett. It was a federal judge, Ketanji Brown Jackson, who just ruled a short time ago that Don McGahn does have to comply with a congressional subpoena to testify in the impeachment process. Now, the reason why this is important is because so far the president has said that he and people who worked for him have absolute immunity from testifying before Congress. And don't forget, there are other subpoenas that are out there as well. There's one to Mick Mulvaney. There is one to Charles Kupperman, who is the former deputy director of the National Security Council. There could be one for John Bolton, and Kupperman has got another case that is going to be heard on December the 10th. So if this judge is ruling that McGahn has to comply, then potentially other White House officials who have been subpoenaed or may be subpoenaed may have to comply as well as this thing goes to the next phase. Now, if McGahn testifies, it's likely that he wouldn't know anything about what happened with Ukraine because McGahn left a little bit more than a year ago. Pat Cipollone is the current White House counsel who would be read in on everything dealing with Ukraine. But do not forget that McGahn testified before Robert Mueller in the Robert Mueller Russia inquiry for some 30 hours and has an awful lot of information about what happened in regard to Russia and possible collusion and what potential obstruction of justice Mueller was alluding to in his report. So still a lot more to come on the potential fallout from McGahn having to testify and exactly who he will testify to. Now, the House and Senate are not in session this week. They are, of course, off for their Thanksgiving recess. But the House Intelligence Committee is busy writing up its report that it will submit to the House Judiciary to see where this all goes next. For its part, the White House went to the dogs today. One very brave four-footed special operator.
Conan came over from the Middle East.
President Trump today introduced the nation to Conan, the Belgian Malinois instrumental in the recent takedown of ISIS leader Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi.
Conan did a fantastic job, and we're very honored to have Conan here.
Conan was seriously injured while chasing Baghdadi into a tunnel, and he detonated his explosive vest. The dog nearly electrocuted when hit by exposed wiring.
Conan was very badly hurt, as you know, and they thought maybe was not going to recover. Recovered actually very quickly and has since gone on very important raids.
President Trump also with impeachment on his mind, tweeting today that support for impeachment is dropping like a rock down into the 20s in some polls. It's unclear where the president came up with that number. The 538.com average has support for impeachment down 3 points to 45.6%, while opposition has risen 2 points to 45.5%. Sources confirmed to Fox News that White House counsel Pat Cipollone is looking at internal communications regarding the hold on aid to Ukraine. Some of the discussion between Acting Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney and the Office of Management and Budget regarding the legal aspects of impounding the funds, which may have required court action. Asked today, President Trump said he continues to have confidence in Mulvaney.
Do you have confidence in Mick Mulvaney, Mr. President?
Yes, I do. Yes.
President Trump also gave a big thumbs up to his embattled attorney Rudy Giuliani, embroiled in controversy regarding his involvement with Ukraine and indicted associates Lev Parnas and Igor Fruman. According to the Wall Street Journal, federal prosecutors have issued subpoenas that suggest the investigation into Parnas and Fruman goes beyond campaign finance violations to possible money laundering and obstruction of justice, and that prosecutors may be looking closely at the work of Giuliani himself.
The strongest mayor, the best mayor. Rudy is a great crime fighter. I think that maybe the press isn't treating Rudy very well, and I think that's unfair.
And when Congress returns from the Thanksgiving break, the ranking member of the House Intelligence Committee plans to sue CNN and the Daily Beast for reporting that he was working with Ukrainian officials to try to dig up dirt on Joe Biden. Congressman Devin Nunes tells Fox News it is the fake news story of the century. Nunes saying he will file 2 lawsuits, likely in federal court. And just to get back to where we started at the beginning of all this, some breaking news. A federal district judge ruling that Don McGahn, the former White House counsel, must comply with a congressional subpoena to testify in the impeachment inquiry. We have not heard any reaction from the White House since this ruling was issued, but I would say, Brett, it's a fair bet the White House is going to take this to the appeals court.
Yeah, the judge finishes saying that Mr. McGahn is legally required to testify. He is enjoined, it says, to appear before the committee pursuant to the subpoena that was issued to him by the House Judiciary Committee April 22nd. John, thanks for covering the breaking news tonight.